because even the almighty CSWA doesn't guarantee anything. Hey guys, and welcome to Someone Asked Episode 1. So, this is the series where I'll be taking real card questions I find on the internet and I'll give you solutions to them in SolidWorks. If you've got questions on CAD or SolidWorks, mail them to us at cardlabng@gmail.com. The mail is in the description. We've got 5 questions today. Yeah, 5. All right, so without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Thanks. So our first question today says, every time I sketch, the number input shows up. It wasn't like this before. How do I disable it? Okay, I have SolidWorks open and I kind of understand what this guy is talking about. It's a feature or a settings that allows you enter the dimensions of your entities while you're creating them. So ideally in SolidWorks, if I select my front plane and hit sketch, and let me just say I draw a line from the origin to the right, all I need to just do is then specify the length by smart dimensioning 80 or whatever and adding relations and all. Well, this is different. It allows you to be able to add it while you're making the sketch. So I'll delete this one. And here's where you go, buddy. Go to the options menu here and make sure you're on system options, then come down to sketch. It's something called enable on screen numeric input. So I still recall enable numeric input. So this is what you have toggled on. So you should toggle it off because on default it's off in SolidWorks. So just to show the viewers what it looks like, I'll toggle it on and click on OK. And if I select my front plane this time and hit line from the origin, you can see now I have this numeric input here. As I'm dragging the end point of my line, it's increasing, and I can then specify whatever I want that line to be, maybe 70, hit enter, then I move on to create more lines or more entities or so. So even radius is like this, you can specify the diameter. I didn't do that right, so I'll just redo this again. Maybe I want to do 20 here, it's okay, and endpoint. So it's kind of stressful to use. Actually, it's a good tool because it comes with some kind of add-on. So if you delete this, if I come back to settings here and go to sketch, so under this, there's this function also to create dimension only when value is entered. So if you toggle this on, it kind of locks in that dimension and you don't have to smart dimension. So if I go to lines again, I'm just going to create a little rectangle now to not stress you guys much. So maybe 120, and I'll make it this way. I could do 150, hit enter. I could do 120 again, enter, and maybe I will make this meet here. Maybe I'll just make it 90, enter, and done. So now you can see I have all my smart dimensions here. I actually missed this. Like I said, it's not something I use daily, so don't blame me. So my honest opinion about this tool is I think it's a very useful tool. But I just don't use it. I've known about it for a long time actually, but I just don't use it because it doesn't work for all type of entities you make in SolidWorks. So it works for your basic lines, your circles, your rectangles, slots, and what have you. But when you're making stuffs like, for example, parabolas or ellipses or splines, which we all use a lot, it doesn't work for it at all. So you still have to manually use smart dimension and go back and forth and go back and forth. So and also personally I don't like the tool. I am not a big freak of every shortcut. I just use the ones I love. I don't even really use the ones that actually save time. I just make sure my interface is loving and works with my brain. Because with this tool, for example, I'm a big fan of sketching. The way I model stuff, I'm a big fan of sketching out everything I want without just like without all this add-on, and then throwing in smart dimensions and maybe even more dimensions to make sure everything is fully defined. Then I proceed to go do my extrusions, cut or whatever. So at least that's how my brain works. So having this kind of add-on just fucks up my head. So, but regardless, that's how I feel. But regardless, I think it's a great tool. I think it's a great tool. So if you're good with it, buddy, you can still use it. But if you find it stressful, like you sounded, then just turn it off. All right. So roll the next question in. Okay. So the next question, this actually is a good one. Next question is a CSWA certification enough to get a SolidWorks job, or do I need more experience? Yeah, so big man, you don't need a CSWA to get a job. The certifications only mean you know how to press the buttons, and it has nothing to do with how well you can do the job. Because honestly, I've met more than one engineer with a wall of certificates: CSWA, CSWP, CSWP, SM, CSWP, injection mold, CSWP, and all of this. And I'm not saying all of them do. I'm saying I have actually met engineers with a wall of certificates that suck on the job. So I particularly just have a CSWA. I was already 5 years into SolidWorks before I even worried about taking the certification. I prepped for both that and the CSWP, but as at that moment, I only had, I guess it was $99, pretty much $100 to spare. So I took the associates one, passed. I think I passed. I know for sure I passed even the cut off. So I don't think you need going circling back to your question because I'm drifting apart. I don't think you need it. Before this whole 5 years, before I even took my CSWA, I had worked for at least two engineering companies, and never has it been brought up where I was asked of my certifications. I've also worked part-time jobs for startups and all of that. So either the employers are not aware of it, or it's not just so useful, I guess. So, because even the almighty CSWE doesn't guarantee anything. It's all about your problem solving skills, DFM, DFA, and all of that. So, yeah, that's it. And I don't want to discourage anyone from taking any certifications. No, take as much certification, take every set you think you will need, take every set you think will help you. But particularly, or personally rather, I would advise you to practice more real world design, real engineering projects, build a strong portfolio, then go get a job. If you already have that right now, big man, go get a job. So, because even basic understanding of manufacturing and a little pinch of GD&T will take you much, much, much more further than the SolidWorks certifications. Any of them will. So, yeah, so that's it. Um, let's move to the next question. Okay, our third question says, I'm fairly new to SolidWorks. My company is switching from Fusion to SolidWorks, and we have about 8 years worth of Fusion files. Is there a way to convert all of them in bulk into SolidWorks? Okay, so no, there is currently no import process for Fusion files directly into SolidWorks. But the only way you can go about it right now is importing them into SolidWorks as step files. This will totally kill your models because all your entire design tree will be gone, and mates and all of that. There's no design to just look like a stock model. But if it's still good for stuffs and maybe reassembling, and but the models would just be dead. However, I think SolidWorks released a video last month. I think I saw a video last month on SolidWorks AI model Leo. They said something about in their next few releases, the SolidWorks AI model Leo will have the ability to convert B-rep geometry, stuff like step files and parasolid and stuff like that, into fully editable CAD geometry with design tree. I saw a preview of it on their video and it looked excellent. And according to SolidWorks, it was the most requested feature with this their whole AI thing they have going on. So Yeah. So either you go with converting to step file, no, you need to kill your models, but you can still use it to draw and stuff and assemble, or you look out. Maybe it's out. I don't even know. I saw the video last month, so maybe it's out. But maybe you just be on the lookout or contact SolidWorks support to have an idea of when that feature will roll out. So that's it. And disclaimer, this is not an advertisement for SolidWorks or SolidWorks AI. This is just me sharing what I found on the internet with you. Next question. Our next question says, what's the correct way to create a hole on a curved surface? And there was a screenshot attached. Oh boy. Okay, so I'll give you guys a little story here quickly. When I was going to start YouTube, there's this whole AI research I did on things most often sought by obviously we or SolidWorks users on YouTube. And surprisingly, one that came up, I don't know what number it came up on or whatever, I don't have the metrics, but surprisingly it was among the top 50, was how to create a hole on a curved surface. I think the confusion is people that are new to SolidWorks are used to making holes on flat surfaces. For example, they make a boss extrude of a rectangular cuboid, and the next thing they want to cut a true hole through it, they just pick a face and cut. So the thing is, they don't get to or they are not fond of utilizing planes yet. So I'll show you a similar model to what the owner of the question here had modeled, and I'll show you how to make the cut. So this is similar to what he had modeled, and he was trying to make a true hole through this face, through the end. So maybe he was selecting this face, because once you select this face, you don't see a sketch menu. This is edit sketch, but if you click on a flat surface, then you can make a sketch. So what you should have done there is select any of your planes. So in this case, if you want to cut against the front plane or towards the front plane rather, select the front plane and hit sketch. Then you can draw your circle, your hole, or just draw anything right now, and exit, and I'll come to extruded cut, and I would say true or both. So it cuts through the model in both directions, and click on OK. So that's how you get a true hole cut through your model. So if you're working with bigger models, or maybe you are in some point or at some point where you can't utilize the default planes, you might as well just use reference planes here to create a new plane. So our last question for today will be coming from you, the viewers. Yeah, I did say we had 5 questions earlier, but I was just messing around. This is a request for you guys to help us keep making this video. Like I said, it's our first video and we hope to keep making more of this, but we won't be able to do that if you don't let us know what problems you're having with SolidWorks, real problems you're having, or issues you haven't found proper solutions to. We'll be more than happy to receive your questions. So you can mail them to us at cadlabng@gmail.com. So that's CADLABNG@gmail.com, or you can send them in the comments there as well. We really appreciate. So thank you guys very much for watching up until this point. I've been your guy Wazi, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.